lane of the fast track of the 405 North before Seal Beach Boulevard. Stop delays are coming from Bolsa Chica Road, Valley View interchange. There's a two-car accident seen in the left lane of Irvine's 405 North before Sand Canyon Avenue. Watch for stop traffic in the area as well. In Hollywood, your drive is up to 35 minutes running backed up and heavy on the 101 South between Hollywood Boulevard and Mission Road. And drive carefully and watch for delays from Ditman Avenue, Indiana Street interchange up to 20 minutes in Boral Heights as a brush fires on the right shoulder of the 5 North at East 7th Street. Hi, it's Sherry from LifeSource Water. Enjoy delicious, clean water. It's the worst, every man. Tap in your home. Act now for double savings. YouTube, basic installation and $250 off. Call 1-800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com. Warranty limitations apply. Feeding Our Friends on the Outside will be hosting its 15th annual Feeding the Homeless event in Greater Los Angeles on Sunday, November 10th from noon until at 11129 South Central Avenue in Los Angeles. If you would like to donate or volunteer, please call 310-981-6377 or email them at feedingourfriends05@gmail.com. feedingourfriends05@gmail.com. It's the 15th anniversary of Feeding Our Friends on the Outside, Sunday, November 10th from noon until 11129 South Central Avenue in Los Angeles. For more information, call 310-981-6377. 310-981-6377. What up, y'all? This is a community call to action. Zoe Williams in the building. Talk 1580. Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door. Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light. Sharing your feelings doesn't mean falling apart emotionally and like ugly crying, which I think can be helpful at times. It's not actually ugly. I think it's beautiful, but I'm a psychiatrist. This is a big mistake that a lot of dudes make. When they share their feelings, we are so emotionally incapable that we have two modes. We have zero emotion, or we have emotional explosion. Once we open that pressure valve, that's when everything blows up. So oftentimes what men will do is they won't share their feelings in an emotionally regulated way. The only modes that we have are on and off. And when someone is emotionally dysregulated, we can have compassion for them, we can have kindness for them, we can even love them, but what we oftentimes lose is respect for them. And so what a lot of dudes are running into is that they'll share their feelings, and the way that they share their feelings, unfortunately, leads to a loss of respect. Come on. Andy, did you hear that?
She doesn't lose respect because we don't have emotions. She loses respect for us because we don't have a grip on our emotions. It's very intriguing. I wonder if the men who listen to this show will call in with a counter argument, because tonight's topic, why she doesn't respect you. It's not your emotions, it's your dysregulation. A deeper look into what happens when the emotional pressure valve breaks. Now, I'm one of those guys, you know. I'm just learning to feel, to just feel it, right? Feel the feelings. I'm just, maybe the last 15 years, and I mean, but for the most part, it's been, you suppress it, you push it to the side, you keep pushing. Oh my God, this is interesting. Do you think men are being raised to not feel their emotions? I think men from my generation, most certainly. But do you think that is true for this generation? The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. With the advent of mental health awareness, a lot more conversations are being had about emotional stability, emotional intelligence, and vulnerability. A growing consensus in certain groups exists that men have trouble expressing emotions and being vulnerable more often than women. I don't know if it should be more often than women. Maybe it should be as much. No, maybe that's too much. I don't know where the line is. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. One popular opinion says that the lack of vulnerability in men is due to men risking emasculation and losing the respect or admiration of their partner in an intimate relationship. However, could the issue have more to do with men's experience of emotional dysregulation rather than the mere expression of those emotions? Now, Shaquille O'Neal was on a podcast recently, maybe a couple of months ago, and he said, never reveal your feelings, because that woman that you reveal those feelings to, she's going to store it in her get back bank account. She's going to store it in her rub it in his face bank account. She's going to store it in her I got you bank account. Oh, I got you. You see, you done messed up now. I got you, boy. And a lot of men feel this way. Do you think it's real? I don't know. 1-800-920-1580. So the question becomes, what exactly is emotional regulation? Well, according to WebMD, what is emotional dysregulation? According to WebMD, emotional dysregulation is a term used to describe an emotional response that is poorly regulated and does not fall within the traditionally accepted range of emotional reaction. In other words, an overreaction. Uh, it may also be referred to as marked fluctuation of mood swings. Let me just stop. Men, would you be honest? Could you be honest? Won't you be honest? Now, I'm just asking, do you have mood swings, brothers? A lot of men won't admit to having mood swings. Now, let me just say, one of my biggest gripes with women and their expression of the mood swing. Like, I've never gotten a headache if I didn't eat. Women will get a headache and will be somewhere else. Like they will really go into another universe. The mood it will switch. It will switch up, right? And I've never been the type of person, like, if they got my order wrong. I mean, somebody got my order wrong maybe a week ago. I got home, I was ready for those tamales. It was rancheros. Do you think I do you think I got in the car and went back? No. I seasoned them rancheros and I ate them. I'm just the mood swing. I want to know, men, do you have mood swings? I think men do. I think the expression is different, though. The expression is different. And I'd like to hear from men and women on how they've learned to regulate their emotions, right? This is very important. What are some ways that these constant fluctuations in instability cultivate an environment of dishonor and disrespect from both parties, a relationship where no one is able to regulate their emotions? Like, that's heavy, right? How might remnants of disdain reveal themselves in these kinds of dynamics? How might adopting the notion of this is who I am? Now, that's one of the, boy, I hate hearing that. Oh, this is who I am. You're going to have to deal with it. What? And men and women are guilty of this. This is who I am, right? How might adopting the notion of this is who I am becomes a defense mechanism for poor emotional regulation while simultaneously scapegoating the partner into the role of villain? Ooh. Why are we more loyal to our conditioning rather than to sustaining a peaceful mindset? This is, oh boy. Andy, have you experienced any of this in a relationship where your girl couldn't really control her emotions, or you for that matter? Andy is like, yeah, I'm not getting on the mic for this one. He's like, yeah, behind the glass. He's like, yes, sir. No, listen, I believe learning how to control your emotions, I believe it's a part of spiritual maturation, right? You start to recognize, like, I'm the problem here. I'm overreacting. Uh, this is very interesting. What role does fear and ego play in acknowledging that you are struggling to emotionally regulate? Is there a link between codependency and emotional dysregulation? Wow. Imagine the effect on your expectations of others if you can't regulate your emotions. You're going to expect your partner. For I heard a clinician say it this way. First off, the clinician was so cold, I forgot their name. They said co-regulation is for children. Self-regulation is for adults. That blew my mind when I heard that. I said, whoa, what? Hey, wait a minute. They said, look, your child may not be able to regulate their emotions. And so you co regulate with them. It's okay. It's just a scratch. You'll be all right. Come on. Okay. Let me kiss it. Let me blow on it. You're co-regulating right there. So the child is taking your cue, the child is chilling. Got it. And let me just say this. I'm not going to say that co-regulation in adult relationships is necessarily bad, but that shouldn't be like the go-to, because I believe where there's co-regulation, there's a propensity or a potentiality for codependence. And I think these are the self battles that I've been talking about, where people have to win some of those self battles, where yes, you had a tough day, and yes, you feel bad about it, but the ability to be able to regulate yourself when you are emotionally dysregulated is very powerful. It's a very powerful skill, and I think we should all be able to develop that. Now, of course, I'm always going to lean on the side of we're works in progress. Now, for people who listen to this show, please don't define being a work in progress as an excuse to stay a work in progress, right? You're supposed to recognize that you're never going to get it perfect, but You should continue working on yourself. You should continue learning about yourself. You should continue expanding your psychological reality. Because guess what? Many people will go, oh, I'm a work in progress. Fine. I'm never going to get perfect. I'm never going to get great. I'm never going to get to the space I want to be in. So why try? And then they come back to that, this is who I am bit. No, we're not doing that. Do people remain in certain relationships because their partners are more likely to tolerate their emotional dysregulation? Absolutely. If you came from an emotionally dysregulated house, listen, can I explain something to y'all? Where you came from, that is the mold. Do you understand? That is the mold. You came from a particular mold. That mold shaped your sense of self. So if your crib, if your early childhood, if your home environment was emotionally dysregulated, that's going to feel like home. Toxicity in your adult relationships are going to feel like home. But here's the point. At some point, you got to leave home, even after you've left home. What does that mean, so? You take home with you wherever you go. What is the most important breakup you'll ever have? The one with your norm, the one the one that you created in your formative years. Many of the things you created in your formative years, let's just be honest, are pretty much a coping mechanism to deal with home. And then you took that out into the world to deal with others. Oh, it's going to be great tonight. I want to know, men, are women less attracted to you because of your lack of emotional regulation? Has a woman just said, you're too much, you're too crazy, oh my God, you just, oh Lord. Has a woman left you because you couldn't control your emotions? I'm very interested to know. Would you be honest? Los Angeles, I know you're listening. Would you be honest? Watch when I go to this sweet spot in Inglewood on Sunday, the 17th, to see Angelique. Watch, it's gonna be, man, your show, boy. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, how come you don't call in, LA? I'm gonna say that on stage. LA, how come y'all not calling in? Don't be afraid. Don't let your emotions get dysregulated while listening to this show. Shout out to JW from South Central. But I think it's a very important question. Listen, when we come forward, you already know what it is. We go into the phone lines. We want to talk about it. Most women can't Chris cook. You should call in. All right, y'all. I set up the topic. Can we get some callers early instead of late? Do your brother a favor. What up, Shannon? LOL, got you. Come on, Shannon, call in. Shannon, are you going to the sweet spot? I'm going to be there. It was A7? What is A7? Is that good? Is that a good grade? Lies, we can control. Ladies, call in. Let's talk about it. Shannon, are you going to the sweet spot in Inglewood on Saturday? Yep, I'll be there. It's going to be fun. You know, Zoe don't like going out. I don't. A lot of women know they can't control their emotions, but use that to justify not Brother, I'm gonna need you to control your QWERTY keypad. All right, Shannon, I'm gonna see you there. Y'all should. You gonna get me? What did I do? What in the world? Damn, she called y'all emotionals. What up, Miss JB? Always good to see you, JB. Chris Cook, call in. Don't glitch. Emotionals is terrible. That is diabolical. Mimi, call in. Have you dealt with an overly emotional man? A man who couldn't control his emotions. What did it feel like? What was the experience like? Attila, have you? What did it feel like? Did you feel like, oh my God? Man, get in here, hustle.
This was a different from the list. The list had falling, but this is I couldn't find it. But this is rainfall, but it's still from Freddie.
Have you ever had an unpredictable outburst or reacted to something in a really bad way? Then you may have experienced emotional dysregulation. Simply put, it means you can't control your emotions. This may be due to trauma or ADHD, or maybe as a child not being taught how to handle your emotions. Everyone remembers Will Smith's drama at the Oscars, right? Where he stormed up on stage and punched host Chris Rock right in the face. Shocking.
Slap.
That's a perfect example of emotional dysregulation. When Chris Rock made a joke about Will's wife, she has a hair loss condition called alopecia, Will initially laughed. Then he noticed his wife was not amused, and a switch was flipped. That's when Will's emotions became dysregulated, and he rushed on stage, assaulting Rock. This could possibly be the order of steps in emotional dysregulation and how it can manifest. Fun 1 minute, outburst the next. An obvious strategy to treat emotional dysregulation is therapy, like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. But in this video, we'll look at 3 other unique strategies, so keep watching. According to WebMD, emotional dysregulation can be defined as mood fluctuations or mood swings. This means that your emotions aren't within the normal or acceptable way to react to things. For example, unreasonable expression of emotional outbursts like anger, or something minor triggers into something more, becoming impulsive. Having mental health issues like depression and anxiety, or even abusing substances and other self-harming behaviors. If not treated properly, emotional dysregulation can have an impact on your social life, work life, school life, and relationships. Remember Will? His actions definitely harmed his career. Continuing with Will Smith and his unpredictable reaction, no one was expecting that behavior, right? That was someone who couldn't control his behavior in the moment. Since we aren't all celebrities at award shows, a more relatable example of an emotional outburst is flouncing. And what's flouncing? Flouncing is an interesting type of unusual outburst and a way emotional dysregulation can manifest. People should learn to control their emotions as they grow from teenagers to adults, but since a lot of our interactions these days take place online, this might not be happening anymore. We're seeing more people having confrontations and dramatic outbursts on social media in forums, groups, or communities, and announcing that they're leaving these online spaces in an exaggerated way for attention. According to Urban Dictionary, flancing is leaving an internet group or thread with exaggerated drama and acting in ways to draw.
Man, listen, they come up with a new word every week. But I'm interested. We have callers on the line, and I'm very interested. Have you ever dealt with someone who could not regulate their emotions? Hell, I was attacked before. It has happened, man, and I've attacked people. Listen, we're all flawed. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've always been in control of my emotions. I haven't. But it's something that is necessary for a healthy relationship. Learning how to woo-sa, control your emotions. Now, she gave a couple of origin points for where emotional dysregulation comes from, and in a nutshell, your early childhood experiences. Right? She said ADHD. She said trauma. But I'm really interested to see how you observed yourself when you were in the moment of emotional dysregulation. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Let's go to the person who's been on the longest, John, Mountain View. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Big Brother, sorry for the delay.
That's all right, brother.
Dealing with the whole topic. But are you talking about the same people that are crashing out over hope?
So you're saying that's emotional dysregulation? Ooh.
On display, and you put the phone in front of you. Quit tripping.
Oh, Lord. But wait.
You put the phone in front of you and started screaming at it. For what reason?
Ooh-wee. Pastor John, you gonna come in here and reprimand us all.
Wait. No. Because again, men, if the point of you having to pay for a date $200 in advance over something you know you've been manipulated on, which is her prettiness, does that make sense to you too?
Wait. Hold tight. No. You're not going to do this tonight. This is going to be great. Hold tight. Pastor John from Mountain View, Hawaii is already setting fires. Ladies, Attila, get in here now. Ladies, Nzinga, get in here. Mimi, get in here. Miss JB, get in here. Shannon, get in here. Woo.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Something wrong with your channel?
No.
Are you getting shadow banned?
No.
You know A. Brick?
Yeah.
He's on the KBLA page. Do you have him as a mod or something?
He should be a mod.
He said something like he got blocked out or something.
He got blocked?
Like he got blocked or something.
I don't know how to unblock people.
And he was saying, like, I guess he was trying to search for your page, but it's not popping up or something.
Tell him I'm here. Tell him to get in here. A. Britt Atwater is on the other page. Listen, let me just say this real quick. Let me just say this. Once somebody block you in here, I don't know how to unblock. I don't be what they call it, the back end. I don't be in the back end of the YouTube. I don't be like, I don't know how to do that. So be on your best behavior. Yeah, he's a moderator. A moderator can't be blocked. Ain't that the rule? Well, he called Andy.
No, he didn't call me.
Oh, he left a message for you.
Chatting on the KBLA page.
I'm sorry, brother.
He's over here like, yo, hit the like button. I'm like, hold on.
I don't know what to
I
say.
guess he's acting like he's still on your page. I don't know. Maybe he's showing love at the same time. It's still your show on the KBLA thing.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right. A mod. Oh, it says a mod can block a mod. We got to do like
like y'all got beef in the chat then.
we got to do like the penguin. Everybody go downstairs. We got a mole in here. One of y'all killed a Maroni. Unless Unc did it, I didn't do it. We had a Maroni informant in here. Zoe speaking to my soul. I hope so. I really do. Everybody downstairs. Sophia, I'll handle it. Zoe. Oh, you can unblock people, Zoe. Didn't know it. I'm going to tell you right now, the topics that are popping up for next week, them motherfuckers is crazy too. I think it's time for a porn topic. Like, are you more attracted to porn actors than you are your significant others? Are you more attracted, sexually attracted, to porn actors than you are your significant other?
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket.
That is sad. No, I only asked that because porn addiction is a real thing. Then they turn. That's true. That's true. When are we finally going to defend IG models? Wow. I think that's an interesting. Somebody send me that. Because I'll forget. Are you more sexually attracted to porn actors? They ain't acting though. That's the realest acting. Are you a byproduct of perversion? They are, and no. Ain't that much acting in the world. Hell no, nah, that ain't acting. Hell no, that's real as hell.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you?
They are characters for educational purposes. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button. Listen, if you're enjoying the content tonight, please support this channel, okay? Please support this channel. You could do it by hitting the $sign at the bottom of the channel. That's the super chat. You can support that through whatever donation you'd like to give. And then also, you can send it directly to my Cash App.
You're listening to the voice of reason with the Williams, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
move on to healing. There's some very important healing phases. And we've talked about this in other talks in a lot of detail. But let me just quickly go through some of the phases. So the first phase and the first tool is I need tools to help regulate my brainstem and limbic brain when they're dysregulated. In that crisis moment when they're triggered. And so we call that grounding. And so that's where people can use rhythm. They can do breathing, rhythmic breathing. They can walk. They can listen to music. They can tap on pressure points, which is called EFT. Some people count. Some people draw, color, rhythm. They can find rhythms that help regulate them. So what I want you to understand is the starting point for dealing with emotional regulation is not tools for the cortex, because it's not yet engaged. It's tools to ground, to de-escalate the limbic system. And rhythm is a big part of that. Then, once regulated, you can go to the cortex. And as you go to the cortex, then you can tell time again, and you go, you know what just happened felt like 40 years ago, but I'm not there 40 years ago, even though it feels like it's still happening to me. And so then you can go, okay, what happened here? And you can reprocess the event and reprocess the trauma and learn from it. And
That's a very heavy thing that he's breaking down. He's talking about the old brain versus the new brain, right? He said that the cortex isn't even connected. And he was talking about the limbic system. Now, the limbic system is the old brain. And I've always used this example. I said the old brain is super athletic, meaning it's super responsive. Primitive, survival brain. That's, they used to call it the old reptilian brain. And when you're dealing with that part of the brain, you're going to be hyper vigilant. You're going to be, you understand what I'm saying? This is, and unfortunately, a lot of people who suffer from PTSD, are in this hyper vigilant space. People who are fearful avoidant can be in this space, because you remember, people who have been classified as fearful avoidants have experienced some level of abuse in their early childhood. So there's this hypervigilance that comes with them. They're looking for, is this going to be dangerous? Is this not going to be good for me? Because remember, terrified of the primary caregiver. Should I go where I think the source of love is or no? So it's very interesting the way he's breaking this brain thing down. The new brain, of course, is what I like to say, it's very unathletic, right? This is where thinking is, the prefrontal cortex, right? That's the new brain. That's reason. Everything slows down a bit. He said that's why you can begin to tell time again. Like, wow, when did that happen? That was, whoa. I know it feels like 2 weeks ago, but I've been able to reconnect to my cortex, my prefrontal cortex, right? And really kind of process what went down. So it's very heavy when you start to understand the brain science that's involved in all of this. We've got callers on the line. I want to get back to my good friend John from Mountain View, because he's already in here cooking. So, John, go ahead. You done mentioned Kamala and the response. Come on, John. But you do know what the topic is. Let me just say the topic one more time, just to make sure my brother and your brother, we on point. Why she doesn't respect you. It's not your emotions, brother. It's your dysregulation. A deeper look into what happens when emotional pressure breaks valves. Let's go.
Understood all. But back to the presentation, I do box breathing.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
But at the same time, yes, women who test men on the fact of their feeling of emotions, which again, we're not allowed to feel them, and yet at the same time supposed to respond in the way that you
Ooh. Have some compassion. What? Go ahead. I hear what you're saying. Keep going.
not saying that, they have a right to feel that way. Remember, they're feeling everything that they do. When they speak to us, they're looking for something to feel in it.
Ooh. Is that a bad thing, though?
It's not a bad thing. It's just something we're not regulated to take care of as men. Remember, we was taught at childhood age, don't cry.
But that was abuse, John.
Yeah, it may be abuse, but it's still something just like everything else. Our reptilian mind goes quickly too.
Right. That's 100% true. But at what point do we say, because I think that's why men die earlier. That's why men, especially black men, I think that's why we struggle. A great deal of us struggle in relationships is because we can't connect. Even in our relationships with our children, sometimes we can't connect. We can provide, right, tangibles, but when it's time to provide an intangible, like, our feelings, our care, our concern, our empathy, sometimes we go back to that reptilian brain and those quick responses that say, hey, man, you got to get over it. Life. I remember one time, let me tell you something. You remember Uncle Bobby?
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Bobby said something that was so cold to me one day. He was like, I said, Bobby, how you doing? He said, it don't matter. I got to keep going. Don't matter how I'm doing. I just got to keep going. I said, wow, that was heavy. Do you understand what I'm saying? To me, I think that's sometimes I think that's problematic. What are your thoughts?
Well, problematic as it may be, and again, for all of us learning this process of how we're supposed to deal with everything that we're handling. We are supposed to learn that in the processes and the ways that we doggone grow, learn, respect, feel. Apparently, most of us have a problem with that. You said earlier about people in LA. If you say some goofy stuff to us, we got to get our get back, right?
LA like that now. Maybe LA's emotional. Maybe LA don't know how to regulate its emotions because the get back is for real.
And I understand that. I understand that on so many different levels. But let me take it back to that very same statement, because I think I reiterated the simple fact that the most gangster thing you can do is walk away.
Yes.
That's a regulated new mindset on how you're supposed to take care of responsibility. I'm gonna say this quick story and I'm gonna get off.
Go ahead.
I'm standing at the pump. Somebody's got a doggone dually truck that they got parked in between three pumps. I am parked behind the individual, filling my tank, and I'm stretching the line so I can get my job done. So this guy is parked in between three vehicles and now is in a hurry to get out because he got his gas first. He throws his vehicle in reverse. I got a millisecond to think. Do I watch this dude back up over my vehicle and I get my get back?
Do you want me to put?
Do I recognize that this guy is in a hurry, and he also did not put his cap back on his tank?
Do you want me to put myself in your shoes? Because is this rhetorical? Because
well, sir, I'm not bringing it up because I want you to feel bad about it. I'm bringing it up because it's still a learning process for me too.
Right. So what happened? Did he hit your car or did you back up? Did you respond in time to back up?
I went to his gas tank and put the cap back on and looked in his direction and waited.
Oh, you gave him.
Either A, it's going to pop off, or B, you going to finally say my bad.
Okay, I see what you did. You gave him, I'm with the smoke gesture. Let me get out the car.
I'm coming closer to get my fire. I don't know about you, but again, I can't get it at my car because I'm at the tank.
Ah, I see.
But if I walk closer and I at least see the problems along the way, maybe it'll help regulate me too.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, do me this solid before I let you go.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been in an intimate relationship with a woman and been unable to regulate your emotions?
One more story.
Here we go.
My divorce was matched on this. She's telling me she's finally divorcing me after 4 months of doggone not talking to me, not touching me, not being with me, and looking at me like a whole stranger.
Here we go.
Now letting me know that I'm finally divorcing, and I'm at peace with it, but now you're testing even that because you want something more out of it. To the point that I had my hands around her throat, and I wake up. That means the rage that I had, I was caught in.
Got it.
Guess what happened after that?
What happened after, bro?
After I finally got my hands from around her neck, made sure she was clothed and could walk away in peace, called the cops on her and called the cops on myself.
I hear it. Now,
been there.
Go ahead.
Got the t-shirt.
But what did you learn? Stay with me. Wait, stay with me. Wait. Stay with me, John. Stay with me. Don't leave, John, because don't leave. Stay with me, brother, because we have to talk. This is a testimony for people who are listening right now. When we come forward, I'm going back to Mountain View, Hawaii. John just got real. Man, I got respect for John, man, because he's sharing his story. He's taking accountability for his story. Chitlin Pimp. Man, Chitlin Pimp jumped in here and dropped $99 on the super chat. Thank you, Chitlin Pimp. Can everybody like Chitlin Pimp, support of the show? And if you want to support the show, all you got to do is go to my Cash App or the super chat. The super chat is that little $sign at the bottom of the chat. Please support. Or you can go directly to my Cash App, $sign Zoe What Netter. What up, Chantel Moody? Call in, share your story. Non-judgmental space. You already know what it is. The first hour zipped up out of here. From my experience, Caps and Geminis, we make good friends. What up, Zoe? Much love, my brother. Thank you, man. The Popcorn Podcast Show. Thank you. Scotty Jenkins, what up? B1. Michael Wilbur? He said, what does your woman bring into a relationship? I don't know if that's the topic. Melody, what up?
Some people will encourage you to feel your feelings and explore your feelings and trust your feelings. But when you have PTSD from childhood and you get emotionally dysregulated, this is the dirty secret. Feeling your feelings is like not always a good thing. You're not supposed to say that, right? But sometimes your feelings are more like a horrible house guest who makes a big mess and refuses to leave. Or it's like they're like a tornado. They're just like spinning around, wrecking everything. You don't want that. With complex PTSD, what is often a symptom is emotional dysregulation. Feelings are out of control. They're coming out in bursts, they're out of proportion to what's going on, or they're coming at an inappropriate time, like crying at work, or having an angry outburst at a customer service representative on the phone. You ever done that? It also refers to going flat emotionally, and this happens sometimes too. A big spike in feeling and then nothing. But either way, when your feelings are dysregulated, you end up saying things and doing things that just overwhelm you further, that actually create new trauma that makes your situation even harder. It can be a vicious circle. One example could be having an argument with your partner, okay? Let's say something makes you angry and they forgot that you had plans to have dinner or something. And you go to meet them, you're at the restaurant, and they never show up. They don't answer their phone, and you feel stupid and humiliated just sitting there, and the feelings start to sort of well up, and this abandonment feeling starts going, and eventually you go home, where you find that they're sitting right there watching TV, and you say, "Where were you?" And they go, "Oh my gosh, I totally forgot, I'm so sorry, can we go out now?" But for you, it's way too late, right? Because old feelings of being ignored and abandoned are just coming up like a gusher out of the past and filling your chest and your head and getting stood up. Yeah, it's not cool, but your reaction.
Heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. Men! Who taught you how to regulate your emotions? And if no one taught you how, what are the triggers that set you off? My good friend John from Mountain View, Hawaii is on, and he is in a very transparent, open, and clear moment. Let's move up a little up in time here. After that event happened, my question is, did you go to therapy? Were you able to kind of address this emotional dysregulation that led to the event with your ex-wife?
Yes and no. Started the journey. Still have yet to find somebody that has earned the right to listen to this story. You can't just sit in a class or sit in a room with a kid who's trying to pay back his debt. So I'm trying to find the right person to actually sit down and have this conversation with. But nonetheless, still doing the work and the practicing and feeling and trying to understand who I am.
Well, I can tell you.
You're talking about somebody who was put as a warrior to go out and fight wars, and now got to shut that off because I'm the worst thing since sliced bread.
You're not the worst thing since sliced bread. So what I'm not going to allow you to do is beat up on yourself. You're a human being, bro. Do not.
I understand.
We're not doing. We're.
I'm saying it's a piece of it.
Oh, good, because we're not going to allow that, John. Okay. What you do is not who you are. You're more than that. So I can name 3 people you could do the therapy with. And you know their names. Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford. Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford. That's a lot. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister.
Right? You could definitely do it with her. You definitely could do it with Dr. Jashana Johnson. And then you could do it with, of course. Come on, man. Dr. Pakoya. You know.
Check fire.
I'm listening.
I said on the show, I need recommendations from her. Where's her phone number?
Who? Pakoya?
Yes.
Pakoya McCall.
Yes.
Yeah. I think her website is Incite Me. I think she's on Instagram. She's following me. Incite Me. Yeah. Yes, sir. Like, and here's the thing, man. It's about processing the feeling. Right?
Yes, sir.
And I already know, just as a man, your stuff is suppressed. Then as a warrior, a soldier, your stuff is even more suppressed, right?
Let's just say they allow us to turn that switch on and off at our convenience.
So guess what that makes you?
Human.
Mount Pinatubo. Hold tight. Don't go nowhere, John. When we come forward, the voice of reason gonna keep this fire lit. Hey, wait. Before y'all delete that person, before you you block them, Michael Wilbur. Can y'all just explain to people, because y'all really be like, pop, 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 pop. y'all snipers for real. Let me just tell you, Mike, they snipers in here. Any form of disrespect or condescension towards the conversation or the people involved in the conversation, we got like 15, 20 mods. They gonna see it. And if they deem it not cool, they gonna yank it. Why are they doing that? Because they want to maintain civility and respect for the type of discussion we're having. All right? So any slights or perceived slights, you feel me? They gonna yank you, bro. So I'm trying to, did y'all block him or did y'all? Yeah, see, it's good to find out the topic. Because they'll give you the information. They'll be like, the topic is this what we own, blah, blah, blah. But if you come in sideways with the basic, I'm telling jokes because this is a chat. What is the term? And I understand you're not trying to be mean. Here's the thing. Read the room first. See, like Mr. UFO. He about to get clipped. I'm just saying, like, just read the room a little bit. Unlike Planet Fitness, this is actually a judgment-free zone. Yeah, just read the room a little bit, and you'll get the hang of, what we're talking about and what's going on, all right?
The voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this is gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy snack? The child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like, is there something wrong with that?
Damn, I'm pregnant. Trail has been committed. Hit you with a bad hype routine. How does he maintain his humposity? I like it when it pinches my neck. Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man moves on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you rate women so well?
Zoe Williams.
Reason and accountability.
The voice of reason.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make videos on mental health education and self-improvement. Today, I want to help you identify automatic thoughts that you have that can affect how you feel about yourself and others. We call these cognitive distortions. We all have them to some degree, and the more you have and the more rigidly you stick to them, the more havoc that they can wreak in your life. Here are 8 common cognitive distortions, and this graphic comes from my 2020 calendar that's hot off the press and available on Amazon. It's more than a calendar. It's 52 weeks of self-improvement tips. I group the tips into themes for each month, and each week you have something you can do to help you with that theme. For example, February is about self-love, so each week you get a suggestion for what you can do to improve how you feel about yourself. Also, the images are motivational quotes to inspire you for the month. So go grab a copy for yourself and a friend. The link for the calendar on Amazon can be found at drmarkscalendar.com. The first cognitive distortion is filtering. Filtering is when you focus on the negative to the exclusion of the positive. So something happens and all you can see is the negative and you just can't appreciate other possibilities. You may even make excuses in your head for why alternative possibilities aren't likely. Black and white thinking. Here is where you think things are all good or all bad, and you can't see the middle gray area. And this is very inflexible thinking. Overgeneralization. With this thinking, you exaggerate or take things to the extreme. Mind reading. With mind reading, you make assumptions about what's going to happen, or you make assumptions about what someone thinks. And this is very dangerous ground to walk on when you become an expert on what other people are thinking. You may be a very sensitive person or an intuitive person who picks up on vibes, but just because you sense a negative vibe doesn't mean you know what the person is actually thinking. Because keep in mind, what you assume about what someone thinks is colored by your own issues and life experiences. We call that projection. Projection is a defense mechanism where you project your own thoughts and motivations onto someone else and believe it's really what the other person thinks. What's the difference between a cognitive distortion and a defense mechanism? The short answer is that they're very similar concepts, but just seen from 2 different perspectives. Defense mechanism is a psychoanalytic concept where your unconscious mind uses behaviors to fend off unwanted emotions. In this case, unconscious doesn't mean that you're asleep. It means that it's beyond your awareness and automatic, like a reflex. Psychoanalytically based therapy helps make the unconscious conscious so that you can appreciate and process your emotions in real time. Cognitive distortion is a concept from cognitive behavior therapy perspective. With CBT, it's not about what you unconsciously think. The distortions are automatic, but they're not beyond your awareness in a way that makes them unreachable without lots of therapy. CBT isn't interested in what happened in your past to shape your beliefs. It's about looking today at how you think.
You trying to tell me we can't use that? There's a lot of men out there, man. Come on. Women, yes, they're emotional. Sure, but women still need this kind of therapy. They need this kind of work. But what about those who suppress? Like your gender, our gender tells us you can't feel a lot of times, right? Imagine how that's going to show up in intimate relationships. I got my brother on the line. I'm going to get his final thought right now. John from Mountain View, Hawaii. John, I gave you 3 choices. Pacoya McCall, Dr. Pacoya McCall, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford. Now, brother, listen, I love you. I love you, and I appreciate you tonight because, first off, the courage it takes to reveal a wrong of that magnitude, right? Take responsibility for it. It doesn't excuse anything that happens, but the next step is, how do we heal it? How do we heal you, bruh?
Well, how do you heal me? You're talking about somebody who has to stand still and be surgically removed, as well as the surgery being placed into the individual.
I hear you. Mm-hmm.
And yet you're still telling me also keep moving.
Right.
Like, fly the plane that hasn't been built, but continue to build it while you're flying it.
Mm-hmm. Guess what I'm going to say?
Go ahead.
You're not an automaton. You're not a robot. Whatever was programmed can be deleted, upgraded, right?
Upgrade, yeah. All that,
Absolutely.
All that. Island living.
All conditioning, and I'm talking about psychological conditioning, is soft conditioning. The hardware is your brain, your central nervous system, your body. That's the hardware. The software is psychological. You can delete those programs, right, that prevent you from emotionally regulating. You can do that unless the hardware is damaged.
True.
Yeah?
But back to the disrespect that we earn by respecting women, even their choices.
Woo, my brother said, back to the disrespect we earn by respecting women. Now, as a writer, I'm just going to edit that a little bit. Some women are conditioned to not respect respect. That's some women, though. We have to go back to Robert Anton Wilson's euphemism, his term. Some banal. Some, but not all.
Yep, some, but not all. Yes, sir.
And see, this is what happens, and this is how we get the gender war piece going. Because so many people will take their experience and use it as a blanket license for all women or all men. The only thing we all are, that's right, are works in progress. That's the only thing all of us are, works in progress. So maybe you had a couple of rounds, a couple of relationships, a few relationships, maybe all of your relationships. But all of your relationships is really just a small sample size of all women.
Indeed.
So we have to be careful of how we frame certain statements. And I would tell a woman this too. You can't come in here trashing the brothers because of your it's narrow compared to everybody else. Compared to everybody that's out there, it's narrow. So you can't put a blanket license on all men either. I would call anybody to the floor for that. But brother, there are some women out there who respect given. There are some women out there who have recognized their childhood traumas, their wounds, and have gone to work on them. Man, when you meet a woman who's actively working on her wounds, she's probably one of the most beautiful women you'll ever meet. Now, when you meet a woman who is unconscious to her wounds, she's probably one of the most frightening women you'll ever meet because nothing is real. Everything would be ephemeral. But the same is true for men. I've seen women try to pull teeth out of a lion, trying to get a man to open up when in fact he's so damn scared to open that war chest of wounds Not for her sake, but for his own. He don't want to see what's in there. Do you understand? Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yes, sir.
Man, I love you, John. You came in here and you told the truth tonight, and I appreciate it, man. Yeah, play the organs, man. Play all of. Come on. It's transparency night. Hallelujah. Hey, Pastor John done came in here and let it be known. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Guess what you just did?
Mountain View's in the house. Love you more, brother. Let the work continue to begin, but I'll leave with this note.
Mm-hmm.
Most men will actually start singing this song once I start singing it.
Mm-hmm.
Where they at?
Where they at, though? Come on, Patty LaBelle. You know, Patty Murphy. We appreciate the call. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We got Najee from Edison, New Jersey on the line. Najee, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, what's going on, Zoe?
What's up, good brother?
Yeah, so you know, I'm gonna start with because you asked women losing respect for men who can't, you know, self-control, have self-control. Is that correct? Is that
Right, who can't regulate their emotions.
Okay. Well, I'll say this, you know, unfortunately, like, I've learned self-control from real life situations. You know what I'm saying? You know, kind of, you know, running in the streets. Because if you don't regulate your feelings, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times you can end up in jail, you can end up dead, you know what I mean? You can end up injured, you can end up losing your job. So, you know, I've learned how to regulate my emotions that way. You know, however, with women, a lot of times, I don't really take my cues about regulating my emotions from women, because a lot of times women will try to police your reaction by accusing you of being too emotional.
Okay, hold tight.
You know?
That's heavy. That's a topic. Right? That's a topic. But let me just say, I want to know how, like, have you ever been in a space in a relationship where you couldn't regulate your emotions?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, this is what you're going to start there, because although you brought up a great topic, that's not the topic. See, what I find, and check me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. When you start pressing men about their feelings, they'll acknowledge the topic and say, yeah, that's what the topic is, right? But what I've found is that women, you guys will invert the topic to be about women. Now, we can make a topic that's just about them, right? We could do a topic Monday. Women can't control their emotions. We could do that. But that's not tonight's topic. I'm saying, has a woman ever lost attraction to you because you couldn't regulate your emotions?
Okay, you know what? I would say no. Because unfortunately, it's because I think the women that I've dealt with at times were also toxic, and a lot of times me losing my cool, losing my emotions, made them kind of respect me more.
Ooh.
Which was toxic. When I was passive, when I was understanding, when I was reserved, that was kind of took as a weakness. But then when I flipped the switch, never nothing physical where I put hands, but when it because, raising your voice, threatening people. Like that's violence within itself too. So some of the women that I've dealt with were toxic, and me coming down to meeting them where they are and their toxicity, it made them respect me.
Or fear you.
Or fear.
Because respect is of a higher vibration. Respect is regard. Like, you understand what I mean by that? Like, they have high regard for you. Oftentimes, we'll misconstrue respect, but it's really fear. Like, oh, that's his line. There go the fence. That's the gun line, boss. Anybody run past the gun line, they go. That's all you did was show the gun line. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think that's very interesting. What did you do to learn how to address, your lack of emotional regulation? You said you were with a toxic person. I'm sure they mirrored some toxicity that was pre-existent in you. When did you get the cue that, hey, I'm getting what I am, and now I need to figure this out?
You know what? I guess.
Wait, Najee, think about it.
Okay.
When we come forward, I'm going to get your answer. The voice of reason. We got a lot to talk about. Thank you, Nzinga. Hey, 5 in the morning. We got a game in the morning. Hey, hustle. Where you at? Cool. That's going to be dope. Where you at, hustle, and Zinga? That's going to be dope. I'm going to be in there. C. Irving, loving the topic. Hey, support the channel. Support the channel. Go to my Cash App, guys. I missed some of it, but it's fire so far, though. Thank you. Go to my Cash App, $Zoe Support your brother if you enjoy this content. Phone was tied. I'll call. It's still tied. Hold on. I'm going to rap Najee, then jump in.
Live in a minute.
60 seconds, y'all. 46 people. If everybody gave $3, that would be an impactful night. Go to my Cash App, $Zoe. Show your love. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the information. Pretty Brown Mimi 726. Don't blame your partner because you have issues with your mom. Seek therapy. Wow. That's why I said don't call yet. I got Najee. Once I wrap Najee, a space will open. From Najee, I'm going to Attila, then I'm going to Shantae in Fayetteville.
Everyone, it's Dr. Romney. So we always have lots of people talking about emotional regulation, emotional regulation. Let's talk a little bit about that. One thing we know is that narcissistic people cannot emotionally regulate. And one of the biggest problems, and I'd say the biggest issues in narcissistic relationships originate from the fact that narcissistic people are so dysregulated. They either scream and yell if they don't get their way, or they give you the silent treatment. And long story short, that is how we end up with the eggshell walking, the balancing on a razor that characterizes just about every antagonistic or narcissistic relationship. If you have been in a narcissistic relationship for long enough, or you grew up with a narcissistic parent, you never really got healthy models of regulation. And as a result, raging, screaming anger can become normalized, or any form of anger can become terrifying. Alternately, your fears of abandonment may have been stoked by a parent who expressed their anger through withholding or withdrawal anytime the parent didn't get their way. So from a very early age, you became masterful at completely and utterly catering to the needs of other people. So that may leave you wondering, if all I've ever seen, or most of what I see, is dysregulation or unhealthy regulation, what exactly does healthy regulation look like? Now, if you've never really been in a relationship where that is happening, or you even struggle with it yourself, that may be a big question. By and large, most survivors of narcissistic and antagonistic relationships overregulate. You keep it all bottled up, right? And that definitely is going to take a toll on your physical and your mental health. It's not a bad strategy, right? There's no point in speaking out in the relationship, so the overregulation may be the only way to stay safe, and in fact, speaking out may even make things worse. So maybe for a lifetime, you learn to push it all down, and even find that you're not even able to cry or let out emotion in any way, and you may feel quite distanced from how you feel or even what you're allowed to feel.
Man, Dr. Romney is not playing any games with y'all tonight. Pretty much said everything I said to my brother. My brother from Mountain View, Hawaii. Pushing it down, suppressing it. It's heavy stuff, man. We got callers from all over the country. Edison, New Jersey is in the building right now, and that's Najee. Najee, please finish your thought, my friend.
Okay, so so about regulating emotions. So I would say my early 20s. And this taught me my lesson of, self-regulating, my emotions. And also you can say like borderline losing respect, but in the end gaining respect from this particular woman. And I lost it. At the time, I felt taken advantage of, you know what I'm saying? In the words of, I felt like a simp. I was vulnerable to this woman. And my lack of self-control found me knocking on the dude's house who she was dealing with and daring him to say something, the fact that I was on his porch, because I was that enraged that I had to confront this woman.
Wow.
And it could have spiraled out of control. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows where that could have went. You know what I'm saying? Because, for one, that was a dangerous move, knocking on another man's door.
Absolutely.
And also in the mindset where I was kind of daring him to say something to me. And it could have went left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the point where her and him, could have ended up somewhere, and myself.
Yeah.
Because I was that enraged, and that led, it led to other events, because she was also upset, like, how dare he do this, and things went left. You know what I'm saying?
But let me stop you here, though. We need to understand that emotional regulation is not the same as emotional suppression. And many men think if I suppress my emotions, I am in control of my emotions. No, you're just packing in more gunpowder. That's it. You're just packing in more gunpowder. See, we haven't been taught to feel it. Right? Now, if you get into the spiritual side of it, and I'm talking about Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, and all of these, meditation practices, negative feelings always come up from the subconscious. But in those traditions, you are taught to allow the emotion to burn itself out. Desires, emotions, let it burn itself out through non-judgmental observation. That's what meditation is. Staying present in the moment, not fighting the feeling. Many brothers are in a fight for their lives to not feel. And I think it's detrimental for their relationships. Look at what you just shared with us. It put you in a situation where people could have got hurt. People could have got killed. People could have went to jail. Stay with me. When we come forward, the voice of reason got to go back to New Jersey one more time. Hey, that tall black guy record, Peace and Love, fire. I heard y'all in there. Y'all was like, what is that? What's that playing? Is that Masego? This might need 2 episodes since men are so accountable. I'm saying that's the beauty of it. Can emotional regulation prioritize happiness? I think they're 2 separate things. You could prioritize happiness. I think emotional regulation can lead to happiness. I think when you are dysregulated emotionally, and I've been there, I'm not coming from the perspective of, I'm perfect and I've never had emotional outbursts. I've had them. But again, it's a process. And once I got hip to emotional regulation, it's about learning to feel it, learning to let it burn out. When I was in my 20s, man, like, listen, man, yeah, when I was in my 20s, it was the thing. But now I know, like, have you ever had that feeling come over you where you feel like a flash, like a heat flash, like you feel hot, you start perspiring a little bit, like, there's like a tingling sensation, like, what the fuck? Like, for me, that was the signal, like, hey, it's on and cracking, like, what's happening? You understand? But what I learned, if you just sit with that feeling for a minute, it'll subside. Here's a perfect example. Have you had one of those energy drinks, right? And your ears start burning, like that niacin feel? But just like those energy drinks, it passes. Many of us, when we feel it, we kind of fight that feeling because we kind of understand what it means, and then we be on one. We understand what it signals, and then we be on one. No, what you want to do is sit with it without judgment. It'll pass. It'll pass. Every negative emotion always passes. Doesn't mean it won't come back, but it will pass, right? In that moment, you want to be present in that feeling. I understand what this is. I understand what this indicates. Do you understand? But by being present, it's no longer on autopilot. Remember, The old brain is reactionary. Oh, I got to do something. Once I feel it, I got to do something. The frontal cortex, right? It's not as athletic as the old brain. I had to learn this to realize, oh, okay. Once I get that feeling, the instantaneous response. No. We're not doing that. Do you understand? The ego, emotions will pass, but the ego will keep it in arm's reach. If that ain't a bar, shit, that's a bar. That is a bar. Well, that's what Figo is in my relationship dismount book. We're going to get Attila in here. She's going to clean it up. Transmutation of perpetual energy. Of course, higher vibrations can change the nature and orientation of lower vibrations. Recycling pessimistic energy. Absolutely, Dominic. Brother John, man, you really slapped us, bro. Appreciate your call. And Najee is slapping us. Tonight's show is what this show is about. Community conversation. Can everybody in the chat retype or type in community conversation? Let's do it right now. The Voice of Reason is about community conversation. That's what this is. Can everybody retype that or put that in the chat right now? Community conversations. That's what we on. That's what makes this show magical. Community conversation. That's what it's about. If we can engage like this, men and women, community conversation. This is how the healing process happens. To be honest, community conversation. That's what the VOR is about. Thank you. Community conversation. I see y'all. What you are attracted to, low vibration, and what you actually attract, low polarity, can be two different things. Absolutely. Europe needs this work, so absolutely.
Men have an issue feeling their own emotions for a lot of reasons. I mean, it's not like society has been like, hey, little boy, let's figure out how to process your emotions. It's been like, don't have those, right?
Good boys don't cry.
Yeah, so men do a real terrible job because of a lot of reasons that are not their fault at being with their emotions. And so when women have emotions around them, because they don't want to feel their own, they want to immediately, get it away. That
resistance to their own emotions, ironically, causes the resistance to the female's emotions, and that is what causes this response of, let me get you out of this immediately.
When we're there in that sticky spot and we're feeling massive resistance come up, where do we go from there? And really, for me, it's breathing. So if I can breathe, inhale, fill my belly, exhale slow, it really helps to settle the space.
It's very different when a man does not have resistance to his own emotions and at the same time has the deep desire to remedy the pain of other. Men have an issue feeling
Heavy stuff. Just listening to that clip made me think, are men intolerant of the emotions their women project because they're intolerant of their own emotions? Because I see a lot of men who simply just can't deal with any level of emotion coming from their woman. Now, of course, you can't be violent and disrespectful and all that other. You can't be all of that. But I mean, just she could just be on her period, or she could be going through something, right? I'm interested to know. It's almost like men are like, you shouldn't be emotional around me. You see, I don't have them. I was talking like, what's wrong with you? Najee, get back in here, man, and finish your thought, my friend.
Oh yeah, so that was a real like low point, you know what I'm saying, with a relationship, with a woman though. Because I mean, what happened was, not to go into real detail, but the fact that you feel like you was taken advantage of, you know what I mean? So it's embarrassment, it's all of those things. And the end of that situation, it was pertaining to money. I helped this woman out, and the fact that she knew that I cared about it, it was, you kind of took advantage of me, and I felt the way. It was embarrassment.
Wait, stop.
Like, oh, man,
Hold on. Let's just unpack this a little bit. Hold on. Charlotte.
Yeah.
Who is that? Chantel from Shantae?
Fayetteville, North Carolina.
From Fayetteville, North Carolina. Get back in here. Get back in here, Shantae. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Najee, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
You was giving her money, so you had an expectation to get an ROI, return on your investment.
Yeah, it was, that weird. So basically, you can honestly say that the emotional piece of that is, I didn't get what I wanted. Now that I'm older, you can really think about what really happened in that situation. I didn't get what I wanted, and it was a grown temper tantrum.
That's what I was about to say. Let's not over intellectualize it. You wanted a
it was a grown temper tantrum.
And what happened is you went through what I like to call the volcano effect. You can only tolerate a perceived slight or a certain level of disrespect for so long before you pop off, and you popped off, right?
Yeah, popped off.
Do you see? Man, heavy stuff. But listen.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Don't you realize you cannot go into the relationship with this investment mindset?
But let me tell you, Gazzo, mind you, I'm 45 now. Mm-hmm. That was my 20s.
I got you.
So there was evolution after that.
Had to be.
I think the closure after that was because unbeknownst to us, our grandparents knew each other. They was like best of friends. So they came in between this, and I never forget when I got a call. It was unexpected, and it was her, and it was a block call. And this is where the loss of respect turned to respect, and and my healing process started, because I was real hurt from this situation, because it did result into an arrest, because he not really fessing up to the truth of what happened. Like, she took it somewhere else. And so I got arrested at my job, could have lost my job.
Why did you get arrested at the job?
because she was a postal employee. So after the encounter, me, her, and her.
So she got you for what? Stalking? What happened?
It's stalking a postal employee.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
She spent it as if she didn't know me, and she went to her job and said, "Hey, it's this guy that's harassing me on my route," which wasn't true.
Wow.
All our interactions did not happen on her job, but that's what she did to spite me because I popped up at O'Do House. But anyway,
first off, how do you even know where the side dude live? You was doing some investigative reporting, Mr. McGee.
No. I knew dude.
Wow.
Not knew him, but I knew him. So you know what I'm saying?
But see, that's emotional regulation, bro. If she's already entertaining somebody, it's not your spot anymore.
No, but see, the thing was, I didn't. It was lies. I didn't know she was entertaining it. That's where the anger came. It was like you was playing. You know what I'm saying? So
and then your ego got in it, right?
My ego got ego got into it. You know what I mean? So, but I ended up. She ended up paying
Break out the phone call
or whatever. And I got a call, and it spoke to more or less like the humanity. And you know what I mean? She, for a while, as her spinning it like with the whole stalker thing, and she finally called me, and she said, "Please don't hang up the phone." And she was like, "You know what? She said, I respect you, and I'm so sorry. I just want to let you know that I'm really not this person, and
Well, at least you got an apology, brother. Listen, we gotta push forward, though. I love the fact that you guys made it right. And let me just say this, man. I appreciate you for the transparency. For these shows, man, you guys make these shows go. This is community conversation. And we talking to the nation right now. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Najee. You brought New Jersey in the building. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, we got Houston, Texas, and Fayetteville, North Carolina. We got a lot to talk about. Stay with me, Shantae. I'm coming. Zoe ain't used to all this accountability. Good job. I'm not. Not for... Listen. We got to do a show like this for the sisters to be able to come clean. Would y'all come clean on the community conversation side of the game? What? Can you play Luke Cap D coming? What is that? I don't even know what that is. No, I didn't. No, with all the brothers calling in? No, I didn't. Luke still crying about Kamala? Nazi, that's a Florida classic. I don't know. Luke Campbell, what? Uncle Luke scared? Yes, you did. No, I didn't. My niece is wild. She wild. My niece is wild. 2 Live Crew. I know that. I didn't. The song is called Scared. Does it fit my playlist? I don't know. I got a real cool playlist coming on. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Mr. Actually. Yeah, we have cartoons. We got a tall black guy. We got Freddie Jokum. We got a lot of stuff playing tonight. What up? Man, my playlist has been crazy tonight. I think this is the cartoons. You already know my playlist is my co-host. We played Freddie Jokum, the cartoons, tall black guy. Who else? El Dre. Oh yeah, we had a lot of fire on this one, man. This was a great one. But let me get these final callers in here. We got Attila from Houston, Texas. Attila is the author of tonight's topic. Attila, slap us upside the dome piece on your way home from Jones Beach.
I'm the author of the topic. I don't know what this all lives mattered. Emotional. Nick Noggery is.
Nick Noggery. Go ahead.
Just say, I am definitely living the vulnerability that's being shown, with all jokes aside. I will, however, I do want to address the elephant in the room, and you've kind of brought it up a little bit, but that's Figo. I also want to address the, say, mixing up of capitulation and respect. They are not the same thing. If you are emoting from fear and ego, then the return on that investment is also fear and ego. So capitulation is what? Fear.
Surrender. Yeah, go ahead.
So if you're looking for respect, surrender the Figo. But you would have to do that within yourself first before you can expect that from someone else, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. I don't really have much to say. What else? I really liked the previous guy, Najee, the way he explained his situation. He was very clear and concise, and that, I think, is very important. I noticed that when we don't process things fully and we're still emotionally tied to it, that's when that worry salad comes up. So, I ain't playing no figures. Also, but other than that, I do think it's important to keep that awareness at the forefront at all times. But other than that, have a great night. Love y'all.
Oh, my goodness. Attila from Houston, Texas in the building. Thank you for the topic. We got Shantae from Fayetteville, North Carolina. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, Zan, you know Attila always going to bring it home. I love it.
Come on. See, she's she up with the smoke. She with all the smoke. But talk to me. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, my thought on it was on a different spin. I'm raising a young man. He's 22 years old. And we've had our battles, you know, as a young mom and things of that nature. We're getting on a good foot. I strive to speak to him as much as I do, but as far as I see him treating the fair sex, it's not so much in a disrespectful manner, but it is kind of a stick and it's not a stick and stay at all. It's kind of a just move and go, kind of just keep, you know. It's nothing serious or anything, and I just don't want him to grow in a mold of a way that he feels about it. As far as the way the topic goes, if anything is strained on my part. So if there's anything that I can do to help him in this situation where at least he can, I don't know if the problem is the respect of a woman or just I'm too young to think about it.
Let me ask you this. What is the quality of the relationship between you and he?
Right now, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, it's been a little strained. I will say that.
At what point? Like at what age? Tell me the age that it was strained. Was it from preteen? Okay, preteen until when?
Until from 9 up until about, I'll say, 18, 19.
And strained in what way? Was strained communication? Talk to me.
All of those things.
Yeah.
When his dad passed, when he was 9 years old, you know, even though he and I weren't together, his stepdad, so to speak, he wasn't too pleased with the situation, where he thought that I was choosing one over him.
Ooh.
So it started to become, it was a battle, it was a struggle. So
he thought you were picking the stepfather over him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it was really, really strange.
So you already know, right? Wherever there's conflict in the parental relationship, but the parent-child, if the child, like, have you taken him to therapy?
We've been. It wasn't really successful because he wasn't responding. But as he got older, like I stated, like 18, 19, we started speaking more. Like, we speak every day now. And he'll speak to me about certain situations, and I would like to advise him on it, but I don't want to cross that line. But I don't want him to become, you know, where he's strained in his relationship.
Well, just remember, he's a man now, so you need an invite.
Correct.
Right? You need an invite to be able to, because, you know, you're a black woman, and our black mamas don't need an invite, really. Mama come in, hey, what's going on? Come here, sit down. Who is this little naphead? You know what I mean? No. But what I'm saying is, now it's about boundaries. It's about respecting his boundaries. I'm really interested because, like I was saying, if there's conflict between mother-son, right, in the formative years, right, you know, they're going to take some of that. If it's not healed through therapy or whatever, they're going to take some of that into their adult relationship, or all of it. And I would encourage him to definitely go to therapy again, give it a try again, right? Just offer it. Like, listen, my medical insurance covers it, babe. If you want it,
right? Like,
you know, if you want it, I got you. Because, you know, losing your father, that's a big deal, and that's a deal. That's something you kind of deal with your whole life. When you lose a parent, was he close to dad? Was, you know, talk to me.
They had a cool relationship. Yes, they did.
See what I mean? So that's a whole. And you brought in stepdad. He might have felt like, well, maybe she's trying to replace dad or demote me. Right. You know, all of that got to get worked out. Because if you carry any of that into an adult relationship, it's going to be reflected back to him as conflict.
And mom and stepdad relationship is emotional, physically, you know, he sees all that and he hears all that as well.
Wait, what? Now say that one more time.
Oh, it was a tumultuous relationship.
So it was a toxic relationship with stepdad too?
Yes.
Oh, in the name of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. So he got a lot of processing. We got to get him into therapy. We got to make it cool. We got to be like, yo, we going to the set of Wildin' Out, and it be an intervention. No, this is not Wildin' Out. This is not Nick Cannon's show. Get in here. Sit down. I'm just saying, we got to get him because, like I said, whatever resentment is going to express itself at some point in the relationship. He may have expectations that are co-authored by the disappointment he had with you. And
With me.
yeah. And things might be better now because he's like, I'm a man now. I'm cool. Mom is mom, whatever. We get to a certain point where even if it was bad with mom, we'll be like, mom is mom, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She making that stuffing Thanksgiving. I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'm going to get the stuff. Yeah, I'm going to get the stuffing. The stuffing is for real. But I'm not going to tell her about how I feel. You understand? So that's my point. So if you can encourage him in the slightest, most genteel way, just let him know I'm still here to support you. I'm a work in progress. I'm getting better. Let's try to get better together. I love you for your transparency, sweetheart. I love it.
I appreciate you guys for listening always.
All right, you brought Fayetteville, North Carolina in the building. Listen, Zoe Williams starts the conversation, but it's really up to you to finish it. I had a great time. I hope you did. I'll see you next week with another set of slappers. Ridiculous, man. Thank you, Zoe. More necessary than ever. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all was up in here. Ridiculous. Means a lot, man. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, you already know what it is. See you next week, boy. Let me get to getting. The week is over. The Lord is free for the next 3 days. Great topic tonight. Great show. Appreciate all y'all. Everybody was so transparent. Everybody was sharing. Man, that shit was fire. Great stuff. Appreciate y'all all. I'll holla back. Deuces.